In a quiet American town, where winter settled long and deep over the rooftops, Arthur rose before dawn each evening to do the same humble work he had done for years. In his small kitchen, beneath a dim yellow light, he stirred great pots of homemade soup while snow pressed against the frosted windows. Beside the refrigerator were handwritten delivery lists and a few Bible verses, one of them underlined in a shaking hand: "Carry each other's burdens." Arthur was a widower. His wife had died during a cruel winter years earlier, and some nights the silence in his house felt colder than the wind outside. Yet he had kept the words she once whispered to him: "Warm food can remind people they're not forgotten." After she was gone, those words became a kind of prayer for him. So he prayed over every container, sealed each lid carefully, and loaded the soup into his old truck. Night after night, he drove through snow-covered streets to modest homes where elderly neighbors lived alone. A retired teacher began waiting at her window each evening, smiling when Arthur's headlights moved through the storm. A grieving veteran, once quiet and closed off, started helping carry soup inside and would stand at the door a little longer each time, talking of old battles and present loneliness. An elderly woman with failing health would press Arthur's hand and say that hearing him knock was often the best part of her day, because it meant someone still remembered her name. Arthur never thought of himself as important. He only kept showing up. He brought soup, a kind word, and the steady love of Christ in small, faithful acts. But after every delivery, when he returned home to eat alone, he felt the ache of his own loneliness. He wondered if anyone noticed how tired he was, or if his kindness only disappeared into the cold like breath in the night. Then one evening, a terrible blizzard struck. Roads vanished beneath drifting snow, power lines snapped, and the town was warned to stay indoors. Arthur knew several of his neighbors could not heat their homes well, and some would be frightened if no one came. So he loaded the truck anyway and drove into the storm, checking each house until the roads became too dangerous and his truck sank helplessly into a deep drift. For a moment, all was white wind and silence. Then small lights appeared through the storm. Church members, neighbors, the veteran, the retired teacher, and others Arthur had served for years came searching for him with flashlights and blankets. They found him and helped him walk back through the snow to the church shelter, where stoves glowed, soup warmed on tables, and prayers rose softly into the rafters. One by one, people spoke of how Arthur's quiet visits had carried them through grief, fear, and long nights of isolation. They realized that while they had thought he was only giving to them, he had also been binding the whole town together. When the storm passed, the morning sun turned the snow to gold. Arthur set out again with fresh soup, but this time he was not alone. Children carried baskets beside him. Neighbors waved from glowing windows. Church bells rang over the rooftops,